Hello everybody and welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're reading more spooky books. I'm thinking that I'm going to post twice a week some weeks, so keep an eye out for that. Please remember to like and subscribe and click the bell icon so you're notified every time I upload, because there'll be a special extra video maybe every couple of weeks for spooky season. We'll see. I have like 6 videos planned out, so that will be 6 weeks if I don't post 2 a week, so stay tuned for that. So for this week, we're reading psychological thrillers, which is actually my favorite my favorite subsection of thrillers. Like, I don't really like domestic thrillers, but psychological thrillers always get me. So we have 3 books planned out for this video. One of them I'm very, very excited for. So I don't know if I should read it first or last. We'll see about that. But let's start off with 2 of the library books. So I probably should start with them so I can return them. The first book is called The Book of You, and it is by Claire Kendall. I don't know much about this book, but I did just look up the genre. It's better to go into thrillers not knowing what's going to happen. Although sometimes I do look up spoilers, because I hate being in that much suspense. It gives me anxiety. Yeah, I'm not really 100% sure, so I haven't read the synopsis, but it is a psychological thriller. And then I have Strangers by C.L. Taylor. I have another book from her called The Guilty Couple, which I haven't read yet either, but I grabbed this from the library, so I thought we would read it in today's video, or this week's video. And then As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. So this is a YA psychological thriller, and I'm very excited for the last part in this series, so we'll be ticking one of those off as well. I'm hoping to be thrilled. I loved the second book, but I didn't love the first book, and apparently this is everybody's favorite, so I'm hoping that I like it too. It's got more of like a stalker vibe to it apparently, so very, very excited for this and to see what Pip gets up to next. Shall we check on Goodreads what their ratings are and then pick like that? This has I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it has a 3.58 rating. Not terrible. And then the next one is Strangers. I don't know why it didn't come up the first time. This is a 3.9 rating. So one to read, and then I'm sure As Good as Dead is on my list. That has a 4.2 rating. So let's start with the worst rated book, which is The Book of You. Just in case I need motivation to carry on the week, I have some things to look forward to. So let's start with this one. Hi, so I'm not very far in. I'm only on page 32, but I just read a page and I thought I have to turn on the camera right now. So this is only our first book and this is my first check-in. Let me tell you, I'm actually really glad I picked this book up, because the rest of the books I was reading weren't spooky at all. This one has me literally screaming at the page already. I have so much anxiety reading it. I just had to tell you, because this is like a suspenseful psychological thriller already, and I'm not even far in. It's kind of about our main female character, Clarissa, and she has a stalker, and her stalker is actually one of her colleagues. He's not much older than her, but he's a little bit older than her, and he used to work with like her ex-boyfriend. He's cornered her into doing things that she doesn't want to do. Like, I'm pretty sure he spiked her drink. She was so drunk after 2 glasses of wine, couldn't get home by herself, and he took her inside, put her to bed, and starts taking off her clothes, and she just passes out. He keeps following her, so now she's documenting every single time they have an encounter because she wants to report it. I don't know why people are like this with stalkings. Honestly, I get that some people could lie about it. Honestly, stalkings are so dangerous, and this gives me hella anxiety. I'm already so paranoid as a person as a whole. This is just, honestly, I don't even know if I can read it. Like, my heart is pounding right now. But I thought I'd sit down and just read for an hour. But I'm like, should I be reading this? Maybe I should read it at night. It might be a little bit more scary. But honestly, I'm having a panic attack just reading this right now. And she's been so polite, and I don't know why. I would just be rude and be like, get the F away from me. She's just told him to get away from her. She gets into a taxi and he's like, move over, I'm coming with you. And she's like, no, you're not. And speaks to the taxi driver. And he's like, dude, fuck off. Like, she doesn't want you to be in the taxi. And like, that just... Women are so vulnerable, I know, and it takes one man like that just to... Okay, that's it. I'm going to keep reading. I'll let you guys know when I'm halfway or if anything interesting happens, but already suspenseful. My heart is literally pounding and I feel scared and angry for her. I'm just going to talk in circles now because I feel passionately about this, but fuck. Annoying. Why can't men just take a hint? If no is no, like, it's not because I'm denying you love, it's because I don't want it. Like, anyway, I'm gonna keep reading. This book is so frustrating and so scary. I am halfway through right now and it gives me the worst anxiety. I'm not sure what I said in my last check-in. I've read some reviews and said that it slows down towards like the middle, so we'll see. But I just wanted to check in with you guys and tell you that I've read halfway and I'm freaked out. I really am. The stalkers and like such heavy psychological thrillers really get to me because I know you can say that you'd react a certain way, but unless you're in that situation, you don't know what you do. Like, she's stopped eating, she's isolated herself. It's very scary and it gives me heavy anxiety. I'm gonna keep reading and I'll let you guys know when I'm done with the book. Sorry about the way I look, but I just finished this, The Book of You by Claire Kendall. I didn't realize that this was a debut novel. I really enjoyed it. It was thrilling, it was suspenseful, it touched on topics that are very uncomfortable and it was infuriating, but the end was really good. Like, I would 100% recommend this. It was like watching a thriller, suspenseful movie play out with the stalking and I really liked it and I think I'm going to give it a 4-star. I don't want, obviously some of the content in it was very triggering, especially the stalking and how it was dealt with and how police don't take stalking as seriously as they should, and most stalkings actually lead to death. It was really good and I really loved the way it was written. It was written in first person and in third person, flipping back and forth, but the font changed every time the tense or the point of view, not point of view really, but every time the third person changed to first person, the font was different, so you kind of were thrown into the story, you're thrown into her thoughts, and then you were thrown into like her everyday life. Her stalker, psycho as they all are, and he just kept spinning stories, and it was really good, really good, and it showed like a lot of character growth as well, like how she grew, not in confidence but in like just being smarter about what she did. She was isolated, but she did it to protect people around her, and the character development was amazing for a first novel. Next we're gonna read Strangers by C.L. Taylor. I'm really excited for this one as well because this was so good. I'm hoping for the same type of psychological thriller. I love that feeling, but it's Thursday today. I've taken a really long time to read this book. I just wasn't in the biggest reading mood, as well as I had a few things to edit, a few things to film. So I'm gonna try and read a little bit of this today. I want to watch a scary movie as well. I'm gonna watch The Conjuring now. So I'm gonna watch that and then I'll pick this up. I need to go for a walk, make some dinner, and I'll probably let you guys know tomorrow how I feel about this and what I thought. And yeah, so I will pop off, do my thing, and let you guys know very soon. I finished it. I didn't do a midway check-in because it was over the weekend. I was in a little bit of a slumpy mood. I was crocheting and that was just taking all my concentration and all my time, and I didn't really want to pick this up. But I ended up finishing it yesterday. I was about halfway and then I read like maybe 20 pages this morning. but I finished it. Let's start with my opinion before I tell you what the book was about. My opinion was the build-up was long. I think the build-up went up to like 230 before anything even happened, before anything was explained, before any of the circumstances that were hinted at were actually even explained. And it was just us like going through a week in the life of these three characters. We had three characters that we were following, and it was like going through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's like a week of their life. Somehow at the end they all interconnected, but it was not suspenseful, it wasn't exciting, and it wasn't thrilling. The twist at the end was kind of anticlimactic because it just didn't make sense in my mind. It didn't make sense. That's all I could say. So I didn't love it. I was kind of bored, but yeah. I have another book by her as well that I actually purchased, so I'm hoping that's better than this, because how can a build-up be more than half the book? The exciting part is like less than 100 pages. Like, come on. The end part had me a little bit like intrigued. That's as far as it went. So we followed three characters, Ursula, Alice, and Gareth. Ursula, she is like going through a lot of grief. Like, her boyfriend passed away and we don't know how, but she somehow blames herself. And because of all the trauma that she was dealing with, she developed kleptomania. She's been stealing from her friends and they all find out, so she's kind of isolated. They kick her out of her apartment for stealing, and she ends up living with this really weird guy, and there's something just off about him. Then we have Alice, who's recently divorced, not recently, she was divorced about 4 years ago and is still reeling from it, and her daughter lives with her, who's 20 years old and is also seen like an asshole at the moment. Her daughter's boyfriend is like kind of cheating on her and she's just not being treated right. Alice's daughter Emily convinces her to go on a dating app, and she meets this guy Michael, and he's a freak. He's an actual freak. He comes there smashed out of his head and then kind of assaults her, and she gets not rescued, but she kind of gets away from the situation, and another patron walks in and he runs after her to give back her belongings that she had dropped, and they kind of start dating. But then she starts getting weird messages and her car's vandalized, and they come to the conclusion that she has a stalker. Then we have Gareth, who is the security guard at the mall that Alice works at. Gareth is going through his own stuff. Like, his dad disappeared 20 years ago and there's been no sight of him. Mom also has dementia, so she goes missing and they're trying to find her, and for some reason he thinks that his next door neighbor knows something about it, and he ends up at the mall the same time as Ursula and Alice, and their paths clash because of a situation that they need to deal with. So unfortunately I'm going to give it a 3-star, which isn't a bad rating because I still did enjoy the bits that were enjoyable, but there were parts, like for example Gareth's point of view, where I just skipped full chapters because it was irrelevant, it wasn't exciting, it was him being a security guard and going through his day. I do not care. Anyway, 3 stars not bad. Like, I would still recommend it if you like that type of thriller that kind of just is more like character studies. But for me, I want it quick, I want it thrilling, I want things to happen. Like, I'm not a thrill seeker in my real life, but in books I am. Finally, we have the last book, which is As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. I've been so excited to start this. This is a doorstop. It's a big chunk and I can't wait to start it. The font is also very tiny. I can't wait to see what Pip does next. Apparently this is the best book in the series according to the people I watch on YouTube, so we'll have to wait and see. It is, however, Monday already, so we've been doing this for a full week, so I'm giving myself until Wednesday to finish this book because this upload will go up on Sunday because this week we only have one upload. I'm actually just gonna settle down, I just filmed a makeup video, so I'm gonna get my footage onto my laptop and then I'm gonna sit down and read a bit of this. I can't wait to get started, but I hope it's thrilling and scary. We'll see how this one goes. It is a very chunky book. I think it's over 500 pages. Yep, 550 pages. Let's see. Everybody, it's been a while. Today's Thursday and I haven't checked in since Monday. If you can hear, I'm currently sick. I have a cold. I look like shit because I feel like shit. So I've just been bedbound for like the last 3 days. I haven't really been in the mood for reading, so We're reading As Good as Dead. I can't even formulate thoughts, honestly. I'm on page 188, so about a third of the book, and it's just not hooking me at the moment. It just feels like there was a lot of fluff in the beginning, like to get to where we are now, which is kind of Pip's being stalked. She's trying to figure out who it is, but it's taken a lot of time just to get to that point for her to realize she was getting stalked. Her little brother did drop a little breadcrumb, and I thought, that was weird, but she didn't pick up on it, and she still hasn't yet. She's having a rough time right now. She's kind of a borderline drug addict, but prescription drugs. She's been through it, but yeah, it's just not hooking me at the moment. So it's taking me longer than I thought. I might not even be able to post this video on Sunday, like for our scheduled time, because I don't know if I will finish this in time. I'm going to try my best, but if not, I'll just post this on Thursday. Honestly, I'm not in the mood for reading. I literally have just been watching movies and crocheting because that's just what I'm in the mood for. I hate being sick because I'm so unmotivated to do anything, to be honest with you. That's all I have to say right now. I'm not fully loving it yet. I'm waiting to get hooked, and I'm like almost 200 pages in, and it's a 500-page book. So we'll see where that goes. I was really looking forward to this book, but it might just be me because I am sick and I'm just not feeling like reading. Like even these lights right now are making me feel super disorientated and my eyes hurt. I don't know. I'll probably check in with you guys tomorrow or whenever I can. Sorry that I probably won't upload this Sunday for all 35 of you. Thank you for being here, but I feel horrible. I am working on a crochet project. I'm doing the 6-day star blanket and I am on day 4 now. It's getting quite big and I'm really happy with it. I might insert a picture over here just to show you my progress, but that's kind of what's taken my interest at the moment. I also watched the movie called The Storied Life of AJ Thickery. I know it's so many people's favorite books and I've never read the book. The movie was really good. I really love Lucy Hale, so I really enjoyed that movie. But yeah, anyway, I'm rambling now, but we're still hammering through this. It's massive. Yeah, nothing really exciting has happened and it just feels like a lot of unnecessary words. Hello everyone. So it's been a while. It really has been a while. This didn't go as I planned to, but nor did I decide to get sick. So as you can hear, I'm still recovering from this cold. It's just not letting go, taking my vitamins, trying to eat well. It's just not working, but I think I was in denial about being sick for like 3 or 4 days and I still carried on as if I normally would and didn't rest. So I think my body's just trying to recover from it and is taking its time. Due to that, I just wasn't in the mood for reading most of the week. I crocheted a little bit, but not really. I just wanted to lie in my bed and watch series. I literally didn't want to do anything. I finally finished As Good as Dead last night. I don't know if it was me or if it was the book, but I didn't enjoy it as much. I felt this similarly to the way I felt about the first book in the series. There's a lot of fluff. It didn't need to be 550 pages. They could have cut it down and added an epilogue. This had an open-ended ending, which is absolutely the worst for me. We don't know the outcome of it. We don't know what happened. We didn't get a nice look at Pip moving on from it, which I would have preferred a little bit more. So I can't tell you too much about the book, like I said, because it is a sequel, but it is again following Pip. She's being stalked and she's kind of going through a really tough time after the previous case in the previous book. She's in a very dark space. She has PTSD and she's refusing to really deal with it. And when the stalking happens, it happens at the worst possible time because mentally she's just not okay. She takes on the case herself, obviously. Somehow this stalking is interconnected with the 2 cases that happened in the previous 2 books. So it's just following her literally unraveling, going through something again that's traumatic. The end was cool. The plot twist was cool. Like I did enjoy that, but it was just too long to get to that point. Again, I got to page maybe 300 and I looked up spoilers because I just couldn't handle it anymore. I was like, why is this heading in this direction? There were clues dropped and I worked it out, but Pip didn't. She just like chose to ignore all these clues and just, she likes to point fingers and she was just her naive self, very reckless, very stubborn. She wanted to do this herself. She didn't want to include people when her life was actually in danger. I gave this I want to say 3.75, but I'm just gonna give it a 4. Like, I enjoyed it enough. It's actually a 3.75, but I'm just gonna give it 4. You can't do half ratings anywhere on Goodreads, so rounding it up, it was a 4. Not the best book I've read by Holly Jackson, but definitely not the worst. I didn't really enjoy the first book as much as I enjoyed the latter 2 books. Yeah, I'm glad I read it. That's a series ticked off our list, so this is done for the year. I'm so excited to update my journal. I've been watching a lot of journaling on TikTok, so I'm hoping to zhuzh it up a little bit. Next year, I think I'm going to buy a journal that doesn't have prompts in it and kind of just figure it out myself. I love scrapbooking. I love being creative. It was something that I just needed to learn to do. And my book journal has loads of prompts in it that I don't want to use, like the synopsis, which is fine, but then it's like notes and it's like half the page. There's no real space for a sticker, and I like to remember characters because I forget very, very quickly. So I like to write down the main characters, what the plot points were and stuff like that, rather than all the other unnecessary stuff, shall I say. Anyway, just to recap, we started with The Book of You. This was my favorite book in this whole vlog. It was really good. I think I gave it a 4-star, and I've decided to, I gave this a 4-star, but I'm going to push it up to a 4.5 because when I compare the way I was feeling when I read this book compared to the other 2, this really was the front runner and I really loved it. I could recommend it for that thrill, the anxiety-inducing thriller. That's what I like. That's what I like. I wanted to feel like it could be real and these things could happen. And the way they depicted the stalking and the documenting and how the police dealt with it was really, really real. I loved it. So good. And this is the star of our video. I think it's probably the best book I've read this month during the month of spooky season. Then we moved on to Strangers. This was meh. I gave it a 3-star. It, again, followed kind of a stalking, but 3 people who were interconnected. I didn't connect with them. I didn't like any of the characters. It just was a nothing book. It was just one of those books that you're reading for the sake of reading, and I didn't want a DNF. I don't like DNFing books these days, just because then I can't give it an actual rating or review. Not my favorite book, probably the worst book in this video. So yeah, 3 stars. And then, as I said, As Good as Dead, 3.75, but a 4. Let's just round it to a 4. Like I said, not the best book in the series. I preferred the second book. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. We probably have about 2 videos left. Let me know if you would want 2 videos or if you would just like 1 to round out spooky season. The 31st is on a Thursday, so I'll definitely be uploading that day, but I could skip Sunday and just bring you a video on the next Thursday. Let me know, because the next one is really exciting. Let's hope it holds up, because I've been excited for all of these and I've just been disappointed. But anyway, I will see you all in next week's video. I hope you enjoyed this, and sorry again for not uploading. Please remember to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you have any book recommendations for me, something that you think you would like, or just a video that you would like to see. So yeah, that's it from me, guys. See you all next week. Bye.